हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, आज हम पढ़ने जा रहे हैं एक इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक जो है कोलिजन। ये हमारा वर्क एनर्जी चैप्टर में आता है और ये हमारे सिलेबस का बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट पार्ट है जो कि इसमें से मैक्सिमम क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है। सो लेट अस लर्न अबाउट कोलिजन। सो कोलिजन इज बेसिकली ऑफ टू टाइप्स, हेड ऑन कोलिजन एंड oblique collision. Okay, so what is head on collision? Like when the line of motion is equals to the line of impact. For example, if the two objects are colliding, okay, and this is the line of motion, so after collision they will remain in this same line, that is the line of impact. Then such kind of collision is called head on collision. Okay, and second one we have oblique collision. So in oblique collision the object can hit any part of the m1 can hit m2 on any part other than the head part of this body. Okay, so after the collision they will separate in different direction, they will not move in the same line of motion. So this kind of collision is called oblique collision. So whether it is a head on collision or oblique collision, it will always follow the law of conservation of momentum. So first of all let us learn what is perfectly elastic collision. Okay, so a collision between two body is said to be perfectly elastic if total kinetic energy of the two bodies remains the same. Although we know that whenever there is a collision, the momentum conservation always comes in the role, play the role. But apart from that, we also have that the kinetic energy of the two bodies will remain the same. So for example, this ball has this object has some kinetic energy, and this is also has some kinetic energy. Okay, so if we add up the kinetic energy of these two masses or these two balls, then it will come out that after the collision the kinetic energy will also be the same. Okay, so in perfectly elastic collision we have the initial kinetic energy is equals to the final kinetic energy. Okay, and the other is initial momentum is equals to the final momentum. Okay, so we will use these two definition of perfectly elastic collision to derive important formula that we will get after using these two relation. So first is we will use for say there is a body m1 and there is also another body m2. Okay, m1 is moving with the initial velocity of u1 and body m2 of mass m2 is moving with velocity u2. After collision, if the body of mass m1 moves with final velocity v1 and body of mass m2 moves with the final velocity of v2. So according to the law of conservation of momentum, what will be the conservation momentum of this first body? That will be mass into velocity. So m1 into u1, and the momentum of the second body will be mass into velocity, same, it will be m2 into u2. So after the collision, and if we sum up, add these two momentum, then it will come out that the momentum of these two bodies when it get add up, it will remains the same when before the collision. So the momentum before the collision is equals to the momentum after the collision. This is the momentum of the first body after the collision, and this is the momentum of the second body after the collision, m1 v1 plus m2 v2. So let us suppose that this is equation number 1. Now we will use the first relation, that initial kinetic energy is equals to the final kinetic energy. So see what comes. So here we have a half. If we use the conservation of kinetic energy, then each body have some mass as well as velocity, so it will have a kinetic energy also. So what is the formula of kinetic energy? Half into mass into velocity square. Okay, so what will be the kinetic energy of this first body? That is half m1 u1 square, and same, and for m2, that will be half m2 u2 square. So I have written this and I have added these two kinetic energy, and what will the kinetic energy of the separating bodies? That will be half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. So let it be equation number 2. So now we will use equation number 1. See, in equation number 1, what we will do, we will shift this m1 term towards the left hand side, and this m2 u2 term towards the right hand side. So we have shifted, we have moved m1 v1 towards the left, so our final equation will be m1 u1 minus m1 v1 is equals to m2 v2 minus m2 u2. Okay, I have just shifted this m2 u2 towards the right hand side. Okay, so it will come out, we will take m1 common from these two terms, that will be, it will come out m1 bracket u1 minus v1, and what if we take m2 common from these two terms, then it will come out m2 into v2 minus u2. Let us suppose that this is equation number 4. Now we will take the help of equation number 2. From equation number 2, all the half will be cancelled out, the coefficient half will be cancelled out from each terms. Okay, you can take common and then you can cancel out, but I am directly cancelling it out. Okay, so again we will shift this m1 term, that is m1 v1 square, towards the left, and this m2 u2 square term towards the right. So I have done, half will be cancelled out. So here m1 u1 square minus m1 v1 square is equals to m2 u2 square minus m2 v2 square, minus m2 u2 square. Okay, so we will take m1 common from these two terms, so it will come out m1 bracket into u1 square minus v1 square, that will be equal to, again we will take m2 common from both this term on the right hand side, so we will have m2 into v2 minus v2 square minus u2 square. So we know that the formula for a square minus b square is a plus b into a minus b. So we have expanded this u1 v1 square as u1 square minus v1 square as m1 into u1 plus v1 into u1 minus v1. So on the right hand side, similarly we can expand v2 square minus u2 square as v2 plus u2 into v2 minus u2. Let us suppose that this is equation number 5. Let's number it as equation number 5. So if we divide equation number 5 with equation number 4, so this is equation number 5 that I have written over here, m1 into u1 plus v1 into u1 minus v1 divided by this term, the LHS, m1 into u1 minus v1. So similarly on the right hand side, we will divide m2 into v2 minus u2 into v2 minus u2, m2 into v2 plus u2 into v2 minus u2 divided by m2 v2 minus u2. This will come out at the denominator here, and this will come out to the denominator over here. So what we see is we have these two terms common in numerator and denominator, so this will be cancelled out. Here again we have v2 minus u2 over here, and there is also v2 minus u2 in the numerator, so that will be cancelled out, and m1 will also be cancelled out, and m2 will also be cancelled out from the numerator and the denominator. So finally we have from here this term u1 plus v1 will be left, and from right hand side u2 plus v2 plus u2 will be left. So I have written over here u1 plus v1 is equals to u2 plus v2. Again I have shifted u2 from right hand side towards the left hand side, so we get u1 minus u2, and I have shifted this v1 towards the right hand side, so I will get v2 minus v1. So u1 minus u2 is equals to v2 minus v1. In physics we say u1 minus u2 is the velocity of approach. So if these two objects are approaching towards each other, so its relative velocity will be called as the velocity of approach. Now this v2 minus v1 is called the velocity of separation. So after collision they will separate out, so this is called the velocity of separation. So that is the end of this topic, collision. Have a great day. Thank you.